one problem that I noticed, and this is also the reason why this is going to be the final version, at least for the 1.1. I'm gonna make a update if game gets changed like heavily. I'm gonna remake a guide. Yes, right now this is a guide because I know what I'm doing. Yes, I evolved to the point where I can make guides for the path of Exile. Whoa. Chill. The main problem right here is leveling takes so long. I can tell you that, you know, gathering XP is... I mean, if you're focusing on leveling up, you're gonna lose your mind. Like, there is no shot that you're going to remain sane, but... Okay, I'm gonna take it as is, so that can happen. I think this is a perfect representation of what this build can do. Okay, anyway, that was actually a hard map. You need to understand that as well. So look, okay, we are back. Mercenary, Witch Hunter, Fire, Rapid Shot, Max HP, no Spirit kind of a build, and we are going to make it a final version until we get a new patch at least. So this is a patch 1.1, but yeah, let's go over the actually go over the gear first, then we are gonna get into nerd stuff that is a passive skill tree. So as you can see, like, first of all, my build is using a lot of hit points, no spirit, and the reason why is this unique item. I feel that, you know, Conqueror Plate Counts Heart is going to be the center of this build, and it's super important for this HP. We are, you know, sacrificing all of the spirit. It is what it is. But the main point is, my main problem previously, if you watch my first or second build share, you would see that my main problem was survivability, and I fixed that issue with just, you know, slapping 1k hit points on top. Now, but yeah, like, I wasn't even using anything that was all that great. From spirit gems, I was using stun and alignment enemy threshold to be lowered. That is, you know, great. It helped a little bit, but not too much. And I also was using attrition to, you know, increase the damage against bosses as well as rares. Good survivability, especially whenever you cap. It's going to be super important to cap your resistances, chaos resistance. When it comes down to armor, we are sacrificing a little bit of armor, well, a whole lot of armor. I actually lowered my armor by 4,000 if I'm not mistaken. I had 11k, now I have 7k. The main reason why is, you know, I dropped a lot of armor from the chest piece. I also dropped some armor here and there from the other pieces as I you know, changed them. But look, the main point is, still I haven't invested a whole lot of divines into the current build, and I feel that, you know, it's not all that necessary. When it comes down to crossbow, it's worth less than a divine. When it comes down to boots, this is probably the one item that I paid the most. This is one divine item, and I paid it because I needed a 35% movement speed with the resistances that are, you know, shown right here. So this is basically like a last piece. Whenever you're buying items, the last piece of gear is going to be the most expensive because you need then specific type of stats over there. But yeah, as you can see, like, still a random gear. I mean, rings, I at least wanted to secure a fire damage to them. Amulet, I wanted to secure a 60% increased armor. But yeah, you can see that I'm focusing on max life on every single piece. There is still a room for improvement. Anyway, I have IQ 69, that is very nice. So I guess we can just go into the passive skill tree and, you know, explain here what I was doing. So Ascendancy is actually not important for this current build. I managed to get rid of the AoE ability that comes from Ascendancy, and instead I'm going with a Decimating Strike, Culling Strike, and right up here we are having basically a multiplier, damage multiplier 1.3 times. That is the reason why the Ascendancy is not all that relevant, and current build could work with other ascendancies. In the previous version of this build guide, I was using AoE ability and it was very much needed for the clear, but something changed. What changed? The main thing that changed for me is I got enough of the base damage. Whole highlight of this build is going to lie in the forking as well as projectile chain. So this is our clear, this is how we clear the mobs. Also, the highlight is going to be fire resistance that is sitting right here in this position, as well as down over here, and we're getting a elemental resistance pen, which is effectively a fire pen in itself. So there are a couple of the changes here, okay, nothing major, but you know, let's start from the beginning. So in the beginning, you get your projectile damage. You get your projectile damage, you can get your chain projectile damage. I actually decided to, you know, swap like these 2 points, as you can see right here. So these 2 points I decided to swap for these 3 points. The main reason why is I wanted to get a little bit of a regen, since I am using a full-on max HP. So I had a problem whenever, you know, a boss would get me below like 30%. Like one flask was not enough. You're getting here a how much 1.15 life per second in total, and also life flask is gonna have a bit faster rate. You know, like one flask, and then you need to chill for a couple of seconds for a life regen to kick in. Right up here we're getting a whole lot of percentage damage increased with a two-handed weapon. We're getting the accuracy. Keep in mind we are here also reducing a attack speed, but we are also getting a stun build up, so something to keep in mind. Anyway, on to the left, the only thing that is important right here is attack speed, and the main reason why we're pushing to the left is to grab a fire pen. So fire pen right here, you can have 16, and on the way you're just getting a little bit of a like stun build up, strength, you're getting armor from a body armor, and you're also getting like here, for example, like life regen per second. But yeah, let's go back to this weird part. Even though I dropped these 2 skill points, I'm still, you know, maintaining this projectile damage with a chance to chain from a terrain. So we're going to push down, like, and we're gonna go 2 ways. Like one way is all the way at the bottom, the other way is for the chain. So let's do the bottom part first. Again, we are getting here a fire pen, we are getting here a bit more damage. So another fire pen, we have here 21% fire pen. Right up here, this is important note, because we do not have a lot of armor. We want to convert all of the evasion into the armor to get it a little bit more onto the another level. Here we are picking the full ring of the armor. Imagine if I had here like 500 armor gloves. Like this node would be great. However, the 8% evasion rating as extra armor, well, let's take a look. If I decide to gain 8% of evasion rating as extra armor, if I decide to drop it 7141, so you can see like we're getting 200 armor, flat armor out of this one node, and in my case I'm still getting 200 flat armor out of the other node. But guess what, I can get a much better use out of it if I just, you know, decide to pay the price and get a better gloves, which most likely I will. Just, you know, give me time to get in the mood, in the spending mood, right? Anyway, it happened that I just decided to go for the attributes. The main reason why is I decided to go for attributes is basically I was playing with IQ 30, and I had a mana issues like all the time. So, you know, this is something that is just removing all of the mana issues. If you decide to like invest a little bit into the intelligence as a stat, you're going to get enough of the mana regen, enough of the mana pool, at least for the skill gem level 19. If you want to push your level of a rapid shot, you will need to have a whole lot more. 2% increased damage times 13, that is how much? That is a whole lot. That is a 26% increased damage upgrade from one node. That is actually great, and I can scale this, you know, even more. And that is going to happen. Because remember, whenever I get to the point of character progression, when I can use a level 30, let's say, rapid shot, I will need to have a whole bunch of intelligence, and then power of jack of all trades is going to be insane. I will go for 10% increased attributes later on. But okay, let's go back into the... Oh man, I hate this. I hate it. Like whenever I see it. Oh man. So developers decided to troll us by giving us a 15% chance for crossbow attacks do not consume a bolt, and we actually do not want that. We want to consume our bolts as fast as possible in order to kick in fresh clip. And fresh clip is giving us a percentage damage multiplier for each bolt that we reloaded in the past 6 seconds. So this is the reason why we do not want to play around with chance to not consume a bolt. And naturally, because of that, we cannot, you know, pick a full salvo, even though full salvo could be very, very nice. But it's not needed, you know. Right here I'm just getting a damage, simple damage. Maybe I'm gonna drop these 3 nodes and just, you know, push for the stats later on, but we will see. But yeah, everything that you see right here, you can, you know, play around with it and, you know, test it out yourself, like what is working, what is not working on each given level. Anyway, right here we're getting 10% increased attack speed. Blind is only a bonus for us because we do not really play with the evasion rating, and how the blind works is two ways. First of all, it's going to make enemies to miss us. If we play with evasion, we do not play, so that part doesn't really matter. The second effect of a blind is whenever you blind enemy, that enemy is going to have less of the evasion itself, so it's going to increase our DPS a little bit, right, by making us to hit enemies more often. Anyway, blind is not all that great. I mean, you can even improve the blind for a 1 skill point. Anyway, right here, this is a very important node. It basically increases our damage as well as attack speed against the bosses, and we actually need that because the current build cannot do any kind of a crazy like one shots or 3-second fights. We cannot do that. So if you increase the damage for the rare or uniques, this is actually, you know, the damage that is the most relevant. So you could even pick the whole node if you want. Anyway, right here, this main one is increasing damage, accuracy, and alignments, chance to inflict alignments. The other one is increasing culling strike. Now look at this. Cull the hordes. It says that culling strike threshold is increased by 25%. That is great. That means that this increase is going to work not only for rare and uniques, but it's going to work for normal and magic monsters. So I think that this one is going to be great for not necessarily killing the bosses, but for clearing the, you know, bunch of mobs, right? Anyway, this part of the skill tree is done. So right up here we're getting the better crossbow reload, we are getting some of the gem slots, and we are pushing straight up for the basically getting extra elemental damage, as well as 5% of the physical damage taken from hits will be taken as a random element damage. Basically 5% protection against physical damage. This is how you should look at it. Eventually it's going to become important. Right now it's not all that important. I'm gonna get one-shotted either way if I run with this passive or not. So also right here in this part of the skill tree, I decided to drop down and pick elemental damage increase. Main reason why is to get this node, and that is going to be elemental penetration, which is in a way fire penetration. So this is going to add onto our ability to have a total of 52%, where is it, without using a support skill gem. We can push this to 82% if that is going to be necessary. And right up here, like you can see that I just decided to like put some of the nodes into the intelligence just to remove the mana issue. So right side of the skill tree, I'm going for that third middle projectile whenever we are forking, so that I can have 3 projectiles at the same time. It's gonna be better clear. And right up here I'm picking the chain from terrain. It's actually super useful for the sake of the clear, to, you know, be able to bounce off of the terrain. And also I actually dropped the attack speed from a dexterity. Main reason why is I dropped the dexterity. So that is how the things are looking like. As I said, this build is alive. It's going to change, and the main reason why is actually, you know, these stats are changing as I swap gears. You know, they are going up and down, so who knows, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna drop something and get back this part of the skill tree. Who knows. Also, I tried to play without the chain and fork, like fork in general. I would drop this whole part of the skill tree, and I would drop even the fork support gem. I tried to play with it. It's still possible to run the maps, but we're just super slow. So, you know, fork is giving us a lot of a clear on its own. Slap the bow or crossbow onto you, get the rapid shot, you know, copy this build, and you can, you know, play with whatever kind of like Ascendancy you have. It's not going to be needed. Like, yes, we are going to have more damage with the Witch Hunter. We're going to have a decimating strike, culling strike with the Witch Hunter, but who knows, maybe other Ascendancies have something better. Anyway, right up here you can see one skill that is actually sourced out of Amulet. So Honed Instinct, you can instill one skill into your amulet, and I happen to choose Honed Instinct because, you know, it's cheap. Let's talk about jewels. Where are... Okay, so I'm not using any kind of like unique or crazy jewels. Like, these are all standard ones. The main point is to have attack speed, double attack speed. Hold on, this is a wrong jewel to start off. let's start with this one. So yeah, as you can see, like having the attack speed for crossbows, attack speed normal, so this is a double stack of attack speed, all of the max rolls, and then whatever you get else is, you know, going to be bonus. And this is how you get a good jewel that costs like maybe like 5 exalts, so you do not need to spend a whole lot of money or currency over there. And the other combination that is good, oops, is attack speed with a projectiles to chain. Like this is basically for clear. My total chain chance is going to be 44%, but I can push it to like close to 100. Basically at that point, you know, we can just, you know, shoot wherever we want as long as there are walls. The problem is there are not going to be walls around us all the time, so you know, I'm debating if these are worth or not. But yeah, in general, like you wanna just get a double attack speed on your jewel with the a bit extra damage, and this is probably the best example that I have. Again, attack speed 4% across the board, 8 in total, and then you have a projectile damage at 15%. Like this is insane. And also, like, projectile speed is something that is just sitting there as extra good stat. The reason why we need so much attack speed is so that our ability is going to become instant, pretty much instant. If we do not have a lot of attack speed, our rapid shot is gonna be charging for 3.5 years, and we do not want that. So you can press shift and see how much DPS you're getting out of one node. So 3% attack speed are gonna give us, like, how much is this? This is a 360 DPS. We're getting 360 DPS out of 3% attack speed. If we go for a projectile damage increase, you can see that we are getting a little bit less. If a damage DPS difference is small, we should still go with attack speed, because attack speed is working two ways. It's increasing our DPS and it's making our rapid shot to become more agile. So with the current build, I'm having a 114k stable DPS with the spike to 150 something, 160k. That is how the DPS is looking like. It's pretty much, you know, enough of the DPS to kill all of the mobs, to clear all of the maps, to do the breaches, to do the what is it called, rituals, and of course that is going to include like these maps that are completely like juiced up. I mean, if you have a need to be smart about it, you can just, you know, like for example, look at this one. This has no damaging modifiers, and so what you can do is simply, you know, take a map with like full-on prefix modifiers, no suffix, and you can do some kind of a boss map, like for example this one. I'm not gonna give a boss critical hit chance, I'm not gonna give boss attack speed, more damage, and so on. Like if I'm gonna do a map that has a boss fight, I'm gonna do a easy map, right? But if we are talking about a standard map, like, you know, I can easily go for this hard one, let's say, right? That is how the things are looking like. And I wanna put one more thing right here. So let's take a look at the rapid shot. Like what is the rapid shot? Basically, the given ability has a lot of a damage base. It's designed to be very slow at first, and then whenever you just stack a whole lot of attack speed, you can, you know, just do a whole lot of a damage. So basically, with the rapid shot, main part is that we are gonna gain a whole lot of a damage, fire damage, as we stack this hit. Right now I'm playing with level 19 and I'm not increasing the level because I have the mana issues, so level increase is going to happen only whenever I figure out a better mana pool, mana region, or just intelligence straight up. Anyway, from the skills or support gems, we are going with the mobility, so that we can, you know, move at a, you know, a respectable speed. I would really want this speed to be a little bit better, but hey, it is what it is. Then we are going with a fork. This is mainly for the sake of clear. Fresh clip is giving us a whole lot of damage, basically like double damage. Martial tempo, this is a multiplier for attack speed, very great skill gem. I cannot play without it, like there is no shot. And also we're getting heft, that is increasing physical. So look at this, maximum physical damage. Basically what that means, maximum physical damage, is this part, this part right here. So if we take away a heft, you can see that we have 100 to 300 physical damage. Look at the fire damage as well, 400 to 1k. If we put heft on, we are increasing the physical component, and that physical component is also getting converted to the fire damage, and that is going to end up in a around like 18%, like maybe 15% damage increase. And I can show you that right here. Let's prove the point. So as you can see right here, we are having a 97,000 what do you call it, stable DPS. 97,000. Okay, let's now put a heft on and see how much total damage we are having. So from 97,000 we are jumping to our 114,000, so it's 17k DPS increase. Well, it's close to 20%. If my math is correct, I have no clue. The main reason why is our ability is converting physical damage into fire damage, so it starts from there. That is our main ability. Everything else, oil grenades are whatever, they are only used for the fire exposure, so you can improve fire exposure over there. It doesn't matter. Explosive grenades, you can ignore them completely. Hailstorm, completely ignore them. I do not want to talk about it. I don't really know why I have it over there. Emergency reload, it's used to buff the main ability, and the proper usage of the emergency reload, at least against the bosses, is, you know, have a reload and then pop it at the same time. So basically you need to have the natural reload and then, you know, use the emergency to get a overlapping like damage onto your ability. Good ability, nothing special. You can even play without emergency reload, to be completely honest. Incendiary shot, ignore about it. Spirit gems, like I said, ignore about them. We are not using them because we have no spirit. Flash grenades are only like, they are used interchangeably like with explosive grenades. So basically the whole idea of using grenades is, let's say I'm fighting a boss and he wants to hit me, I'm just gonna like drop a grenade and do a side roll. So instead of just like instantly rolling, I'm gonna see the boss is, you know, preparing his thingy, I'm gonna roll and, you know, continue right up here. Did I forget about something? Look at this. This gear right here is my secondary gear, and there is a very specific use for it. Whatever you see right here, this is a gear for Arbiter. Basically, there is a concept inside of a Path of Exile 2 that boss is going to do like 2 types of damage. Usually it's 2 types of damage and that's it. And in the case of Arbiter, which is a burning monolith one, right up here. So in case of Arbiter, he's gonna be doing physical damage and fire damage. So what that means that all of the resistances right here you can sacrifice. You just need to maintain fire and armor, and you can use whatever kind of a gear you want. And you know, in my case, I was able to drop a helmet, for example, to get a onslaught, which is a damage increase. That is something that you need to be aware of. You can change your gear based off of the given like bosses, situations. Of course, you're not gonna be changing your gear for every single part of the like content game, like for every single map. You're not gonna switch your gear. This is why you need to have your standard gear that is designed for everything, right? But whenever you need to face a powerful opponent, you can be a little bit smart about it and, you know, find a damaging gear and, you know, switch it if you can. Like for example, right here I have onslaught. On these gloves I have a little bit of damage as well as life per hit. On the belt, what I had is mana. Like for example, I have mana life. This is why I, you know, got this belt. Also strength, like bunch of like stats. Then also I would use the fire penetration support gem instead of fork against Arbiter. Why? Because Arbiter has 75% elemental resistance across the board. So, you know, like these are like some small changes that I had to do in order to finish the end game boss. Build itself is, you know, in general working, but against these powerful broken opponents, you know, you need to make some kind of like micro adjustments to the build. If you wanna see how I actually killed a Arbiter, I'm gonna put a card right here. Also at the end, let's just show right here a current Atlas skill tree. So Atlas is not going to be permanent, set in stone. I am actually, still, changing it. Recently I added back this double corruption because I want to push levels. Right up here I'm using a couple of the points for a shrine. I could drop 3 of these in order to get back the deadly evolution, but I'm gonna do it only whenever I become comfortable running a double corruption, and that should happen soon. Now when it comes on to the end game content, bosses are done. They are going to sit on +4 difficulty, and yeah, we're just getting a little bit of a benefit to get a map boss to be corrupted, 30% chance for that to be the case, so this is not really important. But right here, from the first Arbiter kill, I got a difficulty, reduced attempts, reduced respawn attempts. I still didn't try to do the second level or +1 level to get another set of points, but I'm gonna do it pretty soon. As for the other content in the game, current progression is none, because I haven't figured out what do these guys want me to do. Like, this is Expedition, Breach, Delirium, and what else? A Ritual. I got no clue what's up with them, so it is what it is. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye, peace up.